Did you know that the Ministry of Justice has been going from parish to parish, guiding the public in the way of legal advice and bringing them alternative justice services? Yes, and if you're living in St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Thomas, St. Mary, or St. Anne, you're up next.
We have child diversion. When they get into problems, we ask the police or the community or the courts to refer them to child diversion. Child diversion is to divert our young people away from wrongdoing.
Minister Delroy Chuck there speaking at the St. Andrews stop of the tour. We'll have more on that later. Hello and welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. Don't go anywhere. We have lots in store just for you.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, March 14, 2023. A newly installed energy-efficient boiler system at the Savannah Lamar Public General Hospital will help to improve the health facility's sterilization, laundry, and other needs. The $29 million liquefied petroleum gas LPG-powered system was officially commissioned into service on Friday. The project was funded by the Ministry of Health in collaboration with the National Health Fund. Portfolio Minister Christopher Tufton says the old system was operating beyond its useful life and the change was critical to the hospital's effective functioning.
If it were absent or if it malfunctions, it can threaten the entire operation of the hospital. Meaning the hospital can shut down, totally shut down. There'll be no food to eat. You have no linen to put on the beds. You have no sterilization, so the equipment is suspect, which can lead to infection prevention and control issues. People can die if you don't have a broiler that supports the operations of the hospital.
Director of Operation and Maintenance at the Western Regional Health Authority, Michelle Ann White, says the new boiler system has allowed monthly energy savings of up to 30%. It will be complemented by an older diesel-powered boiler room that was converted to use LPG as a backup system. Still on health, Minister Christopher Tufton says additional costs for the Cornwall Regional Hospital redevelopment project reflect major rescoping of the work and not cost overrun based on the original design. The hospital is being upgraded to a state-of-the-art facility with $10.5 billion estimated to complete construction work under the third and final phase of the project. An additional $2.5 billion will be spent on the supply and installation of furniture and fittings.
It's not a function of cost overrun so much. And there are some areas of cost overrun in the early stages when we had to shut the site down and get better project management and expertise. But for now, these figures that are being advanced on the basis that for the first time we have a roadmap. And that roadmap has an objective, deliberate objective, to build a new hospital.
Approximately $1 billion is estimated to be spent on professional services, including the architect, structural engineer, and quantity surveyor. Already, $4 billion has been spent on demolition works and roof repairs, as well as retrofitting of spaces for relocation, lease for properties, and the purchase of equipment. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, is upgrading its buses with a fire suppression system to automatically extinguish engine fires. The system is designed to stop the restart of a fire in the engine after it has been smothered by triggering the discharge of a liquid chemical. It was demonstrated last week during the pilot launch at the Ashenheim Road Depot in Kingston. In recent times, the JUTC has lost several buses due to engine fires, and Transport Minister Audley Shaw says this system is significant to saving the buses and the lives of passengers. There are plans to have it installed on all buses.
So this is a technology that apparently has been around for about 4 to 5 years. Better late than never that we are getting this technology into Jamaica now to save our buses, our older buses, which are more prone to fire because of the age. So it's saving the bus but importantly, saving lives.
Managing Director of the JUTC, Paul Abrams, says drivers will be engaged in a sensitization exercise with the company's fire prevention team once the fire prevention systems have been purchased. The Consumer Affairs Commission, CAC, says it will focus on financial literacy for World Consumer Rights Day. It will be observed on Wednesday, March 15, under the theme, Level Up, Manage Your Money. Chief Executive Officer of the CAC, Dulcie Allen, says the focus locally, which differs from the international theme, is aimed at getting consumers to develop a culture of smart money management. She was speaking at a recent JIS think tank.
We want consumers to be very well informed as it relates to financial issues. We want you to take your finances in charge. We want to not just to protect you, but we also want to empower you as consumers so you can manage yourself well from very early in the day.
A 2019 survey on financial literacy around the world found that only 33% of Jamaicans surveyed indicated that they had knowledge of basic financial principles. The findings of the survey done by Standard & Poor's and the World Bank places Jamaica lower than average in the 42nd percentile of countries surveyed.
Now, when you have that kind of information in front of you, we understand the mistakes that consumers make. We understand the misunderstandings that occur. We also understand the reason that consumers are also not in a position of power.
The CAC will therefore use World Consumer Rights Day to engage in discussions on credit reports, budgeting, understanding interest rates, and how to improve your income. The conversations will also include debt management, reduction strategies, and managing money safely. In addition, there will be exhibitions at schools and libraries across the island. A $15 million contract has been signed by Separate Group and Netball Jamaica for a year-long sponsorship in support of the Sunshine Girls' journey to the 2023 Netball World Cup. This is in addition to $10 million given by the Ministry of Sport through the Sports Development Foundation. The World Cup tournament is to be held in Cape Town, South Africa from July 28 to August 6 this year.
Salary package for the Sunshine Girls worth $15.1 million is by itself a hefty contribution. I wish other corporate entities would come on board and support women in sports to the extent that Separate has done. Sponsorship is one of the most important ingredients for the further development of sport in our country.
The sponsorship will offset the costs associated with preparation for the games, as well as providing nutrition and a monthly stipend for the coaches, players, medical staff, and support team. The ministry is also providing the team with insurance coverage under the Jamaica Athletes Insurance Plan. And finally, states of public emergency SOEs have been declared for the entire parishes of Clarendon and St. James following a surge in criminal activities in these areas. The announcement was made by Prime Minister Andrew Holness in a press release this morning. The initial period is for 14 days, starting 12 a.m. on March 14. The Prime Minister says organized gangs remain a threat in these areas, and the government will continue to use all tools necessary to protect citizens and dismantle the threat to law and order. According to Mr. Holness, while there has been success in reducing murders through strategic and tactical security operations, more needs to be done. The declaration of a state of public emergency will allow the security forces to carry out targeted operations to disrupt and dismantle criminal gangs and their networks and prevent the occurrence of serious crimes. Government is assuring the public and all stakeholders that the safety and security of all Jamaicans remain top priority. Citizens are urged to cooperate with the security forces as they work to stop criminal activities. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Brethren, the road signs make the traffic environment safe. The green light means go. Red means stop. Amber also means stop. Yeah man, it don't mean you must speed up. And get this, even if the light's on green, when the traffic is thick, don't bother move off and block the intersection. And please, don't stop on a pedestrian crossing. Look out for children, the disabled and the elderly. Follow the signs so they all can arrive alive. Be a good road user. obey the road signs, and look out for each other.
Up next, the latest happenings coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
An appeal for water conservation and plans to accelerate gender-based legislation are just some of the news out of the office of the Prime Minister this week. I'm Andre Palmer, and you're watching Jamaica House Weekly. At the top of the week, Prime Minister Andrew Holness urged Jamaicans to conserve on their use of water as part of efforts to mitigate the impact of drought conditions.
I'm appealing to all Jamaicans to be conservative in the use of water. We are not yet at the point where we would declare certain orders in terms of the usage of water, but we could get there.
Mr. Holness was speaking at a press conference at the office of the Prime Minister, where he announced an additional $100 million in response to the meteorological drought facing the country. He also urged persons to install water-efficient plumbing fixtures in their homes.
These are the things that we need to do as Jamaicans to become responsive and smart about our climate.
The Prime Minister explained that the country was experiencing a meteorological drought, which means that the level of rainfall is very low and is affecting the supply of water. In light of this, he informed that the Drought Management Committee has commenced meetings and was monitoring the situation. 11 parishes are experiencing meteorological drought conditions, according to the Meteorological Office. Government will be speeding up the passage of amendments to gender-based legislation in the new fiscal year. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the announcement on International Women's Day during a breakfast event at Jamaica House. He says the legislative amendments will address the issue of gender-based violence in the society.
We have taken the decision that we will put those issues, we'll bring them back, the amendments to the Offences Against the Person, the Domestic Violence Act, those legislation which have already been reviewed and debated and the amendments even drafted, that we're going to bring them back now on the front burner and have them dealt with.
He says discussions are also being held on related matters, including financing for the construction of more shelters to treat victims of gender-based violence. On Saturday, the Prime Minister took to social media to congratulate Dejon Whisper Richards, who signed a pre-contract with English Premier League EPL football club Chelsea. Whisper dominated the recently concluded schoolboy football season, where he scored more than 30 goals for Kingston College. He recently earned his first call-up for the national senior team for the first of 2 friendly internationals against Trinidad and Tobago at the Montego Bay Sports Complex. Mr. Holness says Dejon's journey to this point has been nothing short of remarkable, and it serves as an inspiration to all young Jamaicans who aspire to make it big in their chosen field. He says Whisper's hard work, dedication, and unwavering commitment to his craft all contributed to this moment, and we celebrate him for that. And on Sunday, Prime Minister Holness in a social media post congratulated Jaden Hibbert, who broke the NCAA record in men's triple jump with a spectacular jump of 17.54 meters. The Prime Minister emphasizes that breaking the nearly 40-year-old world junior record is an achievement that will go down in history. Mr. Holness says this achievement has made all Jamaicans proud and that the country looks forward to seeing Jaden continue soaring to even greater heights. And this is where we close out the week that was. Join us next week for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Tune in to the 2023-2024 National Budget Presentation by Prime Minister the Most Honorable Andrew Holness on Thursday, March 16, 2023 at 2 p.m. Hear all the development projects and related activities earmarked for the new fiscal year, live on the JIS website at jis.gov.jm.
We continue now with an excerpt of Minister Nigel Clarke's budget presentation.
Now, Madam Speaker, this government that I've had the privilege to serve as Minister of Finance has always prioritized the lives of the Jamaican people with a view to improving their living standards and to allow them to lead more meaningful lives. Madam Speaker, we know that, as Buju Banton says, it's a competitive world for low-budget people, earning a dime while spending a nickel. As such, Madam Speaker, the last increase under the minimum wage in 2022 was the single largest increase in the entire history of the Minimum Wage Act. I am told by the minimum wage head of the Minimum Wage Commission, from $7,000 to $9,000. As the minimum wage was only changed 1 year ago, many minimum wage earners are concerned and anxious as to whether they'll have to wait another year or two for another increase. And Madam Speaker, we know times are tough, and we know in today's Jamaica that though there was an increase just a year ago, that $9,000 is an insufficient amount to live on in Jamaica today, especially after the inflation shock of last year. My colleague, the Minister of Labour and Social Security, we call him the Emperor, who is my neighbor many times over, is seized of this, I assure you. We work closely together, Madam Speaker. And as Minister Samuda advised the Standing Finance Committee, the report from the National Minimum Wage Advisory Council has been recently submitted to him. And, Madam Speaker, the Minister of Labour is the only person by law and by convention who announces the new rate of minimum wage. As such, Madam Speaker, he will announce the rate, but I will speak to the date. Madam Speaker, Minister Samuda has agreed for me to tell you that he will announce the new minimum wage in a few weeks, in April 2023, and when he does, he will have the concurrence of the Cabinet. Minimum wage earners, therefore, Madam Speaker, can look forward to a meaningful increase, Madam Speaker. The Student Loan Bureau continues its mission to finance students pursuing tertiary education across 34 institutions. During 2022-23, 7,000 student loan customers benefited from a 2.2% point reduction in the interest rate on their loan by remaining current with the SLB. And by adjusting the payment allocation policy to apply payments to the oldest bill first, delinquency rates have improved by 2.2%. Madam Speaker, the SLB has implemented a new loan management system, which means that loans can be processed online, applications are online, and supporting documents can be uploaded online. There's no need to come into any office. And that online customer portal is interactive and it simplifies the application process. Madam Speaker, and it will also allow, once it's fully implemented in 23-24, online loan repayment, online loan balance requests, online loan statements. No need to even call. Madam Speaker, I'm pleased to announce that for the 2023-24 year, students from PATH households or from households with income less than 1.5 million, the Student Loan Bureau plans to make an additional 4,200 non-refundable grants of $60,000 to PATH households and low-income customers. Over the last year, the Student Loan Bureau increased its customers from the category of wards of the state from 46 to 98 in a single year, Madam Speaker. An increase of over 100%. And that was a result of the no guarantor policy for wards of the state. Madam Speaker, this is what happens when you share the benefits. With this success, Madam Speaker, we will extend our no guarantor policy to include all students from PATH households. Effective for the new school year beginning in September, Madam Speaker, students from PATH households who apply to the Student Loan Bureau will not need to provide any guarantors. No guarantors for PATH students. And in addition, we'll waive the application fee for students from path households. Madam Speaker, we are preserving, maintaining, increasing, and sharing the gains of economic reform and economic recovery.
Do you need help with wills and estate? Do you have a non-custodial criminal record you want to get expunged? These questions and more are being answered by the Ministry of Justice in its island-wide justice tour. Let's look now on its St. Andrews stop at the Nelson Mandela Park in Halfway Tree.
This is a continuation of the program of the Ministry of Justice to go right across Jamaica to take justice services to the people.
We're offering information on all our services: restorative justice, legal aid counsel is here, expungement unit is here, child diversion is here. So all of the services that the ministry offer, we're here giving persons information so they can have access to justice.
We don't have to go to the court for everything. We know that many cases will end up in the courts. But I want the people of Jamaica to know that you can find available justice services across Jamaica. The victim service offices have counselors who can talk to the victim of abuse, domestic abuse. Not only counsel them, but oftentimes try to get the abuser to get together and go to restorative justice. Restorative justice is justice that heals, where you bring the victim and the wrongdoer, the offender, the abuser, the wrongdoer, together. And you try to sort out the issues and hope that the relationship that exists, and very often it is relationship in the home, sometimes it is in the neighborhood or the community or the business place, but when you can get them together to admit wrongdoing and to forgive, then we can restore the relationship. We have child diversion. When they get into problems, we ask the police or the community or the courts to refer them to child diversion. Child diversion is to divert our young people away from wrongdoing. Anyone who needs legal advice, you see that bus? We have 3 of them. They can visit any church, any school, any community. If you just call the Ministry of Justice and say you want a bus, and the bus doesn't come by itself. The bus comes with attorneys. So the attorneys are there to give advice, free legal advice.
We want persons to be aware of their rights, to know the laws of Jamaica, and to be able to access services in relation to their legal matters.
These alternate justice services is to ensure that we nip conflicts before they escalate into further violence or abuses.
If between January 1 and December 31, you are a parliamentarian or public official in receipt of total emoluments of $3.5 million or above, or you are appointed or perform the functions of a position listed in the Jamaica Gazette, December 14, 2022, regarding the Integrity Commission Act, you are required to file a statutory declaration of assets, liabilities, and income as at December 31. What to file? You are required to declare all balances and interest in all assets, liabilities, and income received by you, your spouse, and children below the age of 18, whether living in Jamaica or abroad. It should be noted that a person who knowingly makes a false statement in a statutory declaration may be liable to a fine not exceeding $2 million or to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 2 years. The Integrity Commission has implemented its zero tolerance policy. All declarants are to submit all outstanding statutory declarations. Failure to submit a statutory declaration may attract a fine of not exceeding $500,000 or to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 6 months. The Integrity Commission has decentralized the collection of statutory declarations. Submit your statutory declarations for the previous calendar year securely within your organization on or before March 31 of the following year. Here's how. Firstly, complete your statutory declaration. Ensure you have entered the correct as-at date, for example, December 31, 2022. NA or C attached is never an appropriate response. Use none and list all required balances. Copy or print additional pages where necessary. Ensure all the sections are signed. A justice of the peace is required to validate your signature by signing, entering the date, location, and affixing their embossed seal. Attach the relevant supporting documents. ATM printouts are not accepted. You then proceed to your in-house collection point. Collect a statutory declaration envelope and security seal. Place the required information on the statutory declaration envelope, seal the envelope, and affix the security seal. Deposit the secure envelope in the Integrity Commission branded collection container or with your designated officer on or before March 31. Finally, enter your name and date of submission on the Integrity Commission log sheet. The designated officer should deposit the white copy of the log sheet in the collection container on April 1. Retain the yellow copy for the files and facilitate the submission of the collection container to the Integrity Commission. The Integrity Commission will register your statutory declaration and send you a receipt by email on or before May 13. After submission, the statutory declaration is examined for due completion and accuracy. Where the Integrity Commission is satisfied that the statutory declaration has been duly completed, certification is done and an advisory issued to the declarant. Submit your statutory declaration completely and accurately and get on the path to certification. For more information, visit our office on the 4th floor of the Sagicor Sigma building at 63 to 67 Knutsford Boulevard, Kingston 5, or give us a call at 876-968-6227 or 876-960-0470.
I hope you learned a lot today. Please continue your education by visiting our website, www.jis.gov.jm. There you can watch a repeat of today's show and any other magazine program. Until next time, I'm Theodore Henry. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.